Hi,
Hello,
everybody.
listeners.
Welcome back to the shack, everybody. We're here on a Saturday morning. We're recording this on a rather warm day, so we're doing it earlier than we would normally do it. So instead of an evening session, we're having a morning session. And Steph's still fiddling with the
Sorry,
technology.
I wasn't fiddling with well, I was actually, but it's not technology. I was fiddling with my little thermometer because I was just about to say it is currently 23 degrees Celsius in this area that I'm in now with 59% humidity. So it's getting warm. It's getting warm.
It is.
And it's like 10:30 in the morning. So it's going to get warmer.
Yeah. So we're going to get this recording done.
Yes.
And finish so that we can go downstairs into the cool area because we are
in the hottest part of the house at the minute.
In the hottest part of the shack, I am, and you are in the hottest part of your shack.
Yes.
And we just need to have some coolish time while we do the recording, and then
I've got my cool towel. It's fine. It's fine.
I know. I'm impressed.
I love it, actually. Absolutely loving it. I've got these little cool towels. The ones you get them wet and and then they kind of wick the heat away from you. Really cheap, well worth it, especially if you are somebody who runs a little bit warmer than everybody else.
Yes.
Yeah.
A bit warm.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've had a chat beforehand, so we don't need to waffle on too much.
No, we're just going to crack on.
We're going to crack on.
We've done all our waffling.
We're going to go into our new series, which links back to the week that we had the story about the secret of the gazetteer, which is the book that was brought back from London with this map inside, which is sort of
very suspicious,
leading me to some wonderful stories in and around London at the moment. We did sort of say we were going to whiz off and go to different places, but there is so much rich, lovely stories that I have found in London that we may end up just doing London this time, and then perhaps another series we might go off and do a different city somewhere else. But if you've got anything in your city that you particularly want to highlight, please let us know. Just get in touch with us through our email, shackpackinbox@gmail.com. And while you're here, just subscribe. And what's the word, Steph? We need a word.
We need a word. Well, the word can be King's Cross.
Oh, nice. The little link
if
there.
You are listening to us right now, pop King's Cross in the comments so that we know you've made it this far.
Or just a king and a cross.
Yeah. Emojis are fine too. In fact, that's even more cryptic, so I love it.
It is.
Yeah.
Right. So this week we are going to look, it's sort of around the Spitalfields area.
Oh.
Of London. And it is a ghost trilogy, meaning there are 3. So this is 3 hauntings, 3 lonely figures, 1 strange corner of London where the past refuses to lie still. And the first one, and before I do the first one, you can just see my light here because I've moved my camera a little bit. So you can see the light. So I'm swinging that light because I'm going into the stories. So pull up that chair, grab your favourite brew. I've got something cold today because of the heat. What have you got?
Well, I had tea, but I drank it all in the warm-up. So I have a bottle of water.
That's fine. We'll let you off for that. So hopefully you're all sorted and we're going to go into our stories. This is called The Silent Seamstress of the court of Fleur-de-Lis.
Ooh.
And this is going back to in the 1760s.
And did you say this is like the Spitalfields area? So we're talking Tower of London, just north of the Tower of London
Yes.
area,
Yes.
north of the
Yes.
Thames.
Yes. If you found that on your map and that's where it's near, because I didn't. Yeah, I
did. I
knew
looked it up because I knew that it was sort of central, but I didn't know where. So yeah.
I didn't know how close it was to the Tower of London.
It's
but
pretty
yes,
close.
It's definitely north of the river.
Yeah.
So we're talking right now about a young. Now, this is a good word, Huguenot. In the UK, in British language, we would say Huguenot. We believe it is a French word. So it would be pronounced Huguenot.
How do you spell it?
Hug.
Yeah.
Uenot. Yeah. Or Huguenot. Yeah. So you wouldn't pronounce the H.
Huguenot.
Huguenot. Yeah. So now I wanted to find out sort of what this meant because I've heard of it before, but I didn't actually know. So I looked it up. And I looked at the different ways that you could say it, but then I wanted to know where the word came from. And actually, the people themselves didn't call themselves Huguenots. That they didn't say that. They called themselves l'Église réformée because they were from the Reformed Church of Protestants.
Okay.
So that's what they called themselves. So other people called them this word. Now, some people say it was a derogatory term, and some people say it came from different areas. So they were the Protestants who fled France and Wallonia in southern Belgium from the 16th to the 18th century. That's who they were. They fled due to religious persecution during the European War of Religion. Here we are again.
Here we go. Yeah.
After the English Reformation, England was seen to be a safe place for refugees. This is going back a while. It's been happening a long time.
Yes. Yes.
A lot of these people are our ancestors, you know? They're
Yes. And I have to admit, when it comes to the issues with like religious groups going up against each other and having issues and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, you know what? If you haven't learned from this already, how many times have we got to do this before you figure it out that no one ever wins this?
No.
This kind of...
And the fact that we were invaded by Vikings and the Romans and I'm not going to get into this. We are a mixture already. Let's just put it that way. Right.
Yes.
Some people say it was a name that was a mix of Flemish and German. The Flemish word was Huguenoten, which means house fellows.
Okay.
And the German word was Eigenossen, meaning Confederates banded together.
Okay.
So it was possible that it was those things put together.
Mélange.
Yeah. But other people have argued that it wasn't. It was it was a French word, and it's to do with King Hugo's Gate. People argue that the term didn't originate from a derogatory root at all, with some of the Protestant factions claiming the opposite. But it was said the derogatory one was supposed to be the connection to King Hugo's gate in the French Tower of Tours. It was said that the gate was haunted by the ghost of Leroy Hugues, or Hugues.
Ah.
His name would have been Leroy Hugues. His name was Huget, who caused harm to come to the living after dark. And we are told that Catholic monks maliciously projected the name onto the Protestant community.
Ah.
So that's where the derogatory term came from. But other people have said it may have come from other places. So ultimately, whatever the roots, the meaning of the term Huguenot is different for whoever is using it.
Interesting.
To a 16th century Catholic, the Huguenots were dangerous and a threat to their community, their salvation and their way of life. To many English, Huguenots were refugees and fellow Protestants who were to be pitied for their plight and welcome into their land. Full stop. I'm saying no more. Let's move on. Now, this young lady, her name was Mademoiselle A with an A, so we have no idea what her first name was. Fournier. Now, her name is spelled Fournier. She was a seamstress of the fleur-de-lis court. You may not find much of this online.
Right.
But these burial records survived in the archives of the Christ Church in Spitalfields. Apparently she lived alone. She worked long hours and was noted for her unusual habit of sewing by candlelight long after the rest of the court had gone dark. Neighbours described her as quiet as a shadow, a girl who spoke to no one, or a needle that never slept.
Oh, I like that.
I'm
a bit like that, but with a crochet hook.
Yeah. In 1767, she died suddenly. There is no cause of death on record, which was unusual for the parish at the time, and she was buried in the churchyard of Christ Church in Spitalfields. So far, nothing supernatural. But then reports began. Within weeks of her burial, residents of the Fleur-de-Lis court began reporting candlelight in her empty attic room at night. Multiple neighbours swore they saw a single candle flickering behind her garret window. And that's what these rooms were called, that were right at the tops of houses. They were probably the smallest and cheapest rooms to live in. And they were called garrets. And we're going to hear this again in another story. Even though the room had been already cleared out and locked, but the light kept returning. One witness, a weaver named Jacques Delorme, wrote in a letter which is preserved in a private Huguenot family archive, "The light moved as though a hand passed before it, but no hand was there."
The light moved like a hand moved before it. So we're talking like a waft.
A waft, yeah.
Okay.
I think as the hand would
not
go
like
past...
not like a light shining through fingers, or do you know what I mean? The light moved physically,
even...
or
no, I think the light maybe wafted, or I don't know. It doesn't go into
flickered
any
in
more
some
detail.
way.
It could have flickered as a hand went in front, or it could be that the light appeared to darken and then lighten it. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair.
This was just found in a letter that was written about the incident to another family member.
Weird.
The sound of a treadle loom where no loom remained. Her room had contained only a small hand sewing table, not a loom.
Oh.
Yet residents heard the unmistakable rhythmic thump-thump whir of a treadle loom coming from the locked garret.
Well, I mean, even in death, you can learn a new skill, right? I mean,
Why
she's just
not?
having a crack at it. Never got round to that when I was around.
Yeah. A constable, police
I wonder what you were
officer,
going to say then.
A constable was called, police officer. He heard it too. When the door was forced open, the room was empty. And now the next thing is just so brilliant. It's called the unfinished hem phenomenon. This is the strangest part, and it is documented. Several households in the court reported waking to find hems finished that had been left undone, torn cuffs that were neatly mended, dropped stitches in knitting were mysteriously corrected. One widow, Mrs. Hartwell, complained to the parish that someone was entering her home at night to alter her garments. The parish dismissed her. But then 3 other women made the same complaint.
That's crazy. There is a Facebook profile for somebody who makes crafts. I'm just having a look to see where they are because I'm really hoping they're in London. I don't know. Anyway, but they're called the Sewing Fairy. I was just like, is there a fairy that, or a sewing superstition, like a sewing creature? And I just pulled it up quickly online, and I've just found the Sewing Fairy, and it's absolutely adorable. The things that she's making, but I can't actually see where they are at the minute.
I got a feeling I might follow her on TikTok, actually.
Oh, very cool.
Or something similar. Anyway, we talked about, do you remember about the little elves that used to come in and do the shoemaking?
Yep.
And they would stitch the shoes. So
that's it. Yeah. That's where I was thinking, because I was like, I wonder if there's like a sewing one.
Anyway, investigations by the parish were done. The Christchurch wardens conducted a quiet inquiry, mainly to calm the increasingly anxious residents. Their notes, still held by the London Metropolitan Archives, include the following information. No person was found to be responsible for the nocturnal alterations, though the work itself was of a fine and delicate nature, beyond the skill of the complainants.
Maybe that's why they were moaning, because it was better than what they could do.
They also noted that the disturbances ceased only after Madame Fournier's garret was demolished during renovations years and years and years later.
I want to know what went up in its place, and is she still around in there?
Somewhere. You don't know, do you? Unlike the famous Spitalfields Roman woman, and we haven't looked at that yet, this tale never made it into the newspapers or pamphlets. It lives only in the parish marginalia, so local parish records, the Huguenot family letters, and oral retellings among the weaving community. So that's why you actually won't find a lot of this online. You have to really go down into the records to find it, the parish records. Yep. Because the events as well were domestic, she was a female and working class, they were not considered newsworthy.
Yeah, how dare she?
By Georgian London standards. But the documentation is real and the distant. So there you go. So again, almost no one outside of Spitalfields, historians and Huguenot researchers know this story. So there we are. So we found a little secret
crazy
there.
stuff.
That's our first little cross on our map, you see. It was telling us
I like it.
lots of stories. Okay, let's go back to here. Now, it's all right. I'm whizzing through my notes here at the moment to my next. I found another little quote in a letter on my other notes that are a bit more in depth. And the letter itself, there's another one about the light in her room. There is a light in the girl's room, though none lives there. It moves as though a hand shades it. So it's like a hand going in front of the light. This is the earliest written reference to the haunting.
Right.
And it was written by a family called the Delorme family. They were respected master weavers. Their letters are considered reliable social documents. There you go.
Wow. Crazy, crazy stuff.
Yeah. This is the tale of the vanishing lodger of Wilkes Street. And now we're going to 1840. So it's almost 100 years after the young lady that we've just talked about.
Wow.
And it is a quiet, persisting haunting in one of Spitalfields' Huguenot houses. So this is where it sort of links them together, but 100 years apart. It was in Wilkes Street, which is one of the most intact Huguenot streets in Spitalfields. It appears in several 19th century local reports describing a mysterious lodger. This mysterious lodger, who I don't believe we have a name for. He rented the top floor, the garret room. So again, we're looking at a garret room similar to the girl in the other story. Should be swinging that light again, because it's a different story now. He paid 1 week's rent in advance, and he moved in with only a small trunk. He vanished before the week was out. The landlord, who was a silk weaver, named Mr. Lumiere, spelled Lumiere, Lemaire. Yeah. Reported that the lodger was a pale gentleman of foreign aspect, soft-spoken, and with a curious habit of watching the street from the window. When the landlord went to check on him after not seeing him for 2 days, the room was locked from the inside.
Because, of course.
Empty, and the bed unslept in, and the trunk was gone. But the window was still latched from within.
Yeah.
This detail appears in multiple retellings from the period. After the disappearance, tenants of in the house began reporting footsteps pacing the garret at night. Always the same slow, deliberate rhythm. Always between 2 and 3 a.m. They also reported a figure at the window. Passers-by on Wilkes Street claimed to see a man standing at the top floor, looking down at the street, even after he disappeared and the room was unoccupied. So they'd seen him before and they continued to see him after. Descriptions were consistent. They said he was tall, thin, wearing a long coat. His face was indistinct, as if in a shadow. On several occasions, the garret door was found locked, bolted, with no one inside. Yet neighbours heard pacing only minutes before. The most chilling account was in 1851. A silk spinner named Mrs. Drouet, who lived in the house for 12 years, told a local investigator, he walks when the moon is thin.
When the moon is thin?
Thin, yeah. Maybe like a crescent moon, maybe?
Yeah, okay.
It could,
all right.
Yeah.
Like physically visually
how it
thin.
was. Yeah. Yeah. He walks when the house is quiet, and he walks as if he never left.
Oh.
She also claimed that the room would sometimes smell faintly of damp wool, old tobacco, and something cold like river water.
It smelled like something cold.
I think they're referring, because if you went down to the river in those days, most of the time it would have been cold and damp, and there would have been a smell of the
That's
river.
fair.
So
Yeah.
was it that reminded her of what the smell was like in the room? So I'm assuming that's how she came to this sort of description.
Fair.
This last detail led to speculation that the lodger may have drowned in the Thames, although no matching body was ever recorded.
Bizarre.
By the 1870s, the garret was considered unlettable, unlucky, and it was called the room with the watcher. Even when the house was subdivided into multiple tenements, no one stayed in the top room for long. When the house was renovated in the 1970s, builders reported tools going missing, footsteps overheard when no one was upstairs, and a man's silhouette crossing the window.
So there seems to be a bit of a pattern here of like stuff going on in rooms when people aren't in there.
Yeah.
And I think, if you were in a house and that there's no one upstairs, and all of a sudden there is footsteps on the upper floor, that would get me moving. I'd be straight up there.
Yeah.
Like, who are you and what are you doing? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, that might mess with me a little bit.
Yeah.
I'd be looking for all the secret ways in. Do you know what I mean? If it joins another house, there's got to be like a secret way in.
A secret door somewhere.
Yeah.
A panel that opens and lets you in and out.
Yeah. Like one of those little magnetic click, click doors,
Yeah, I don't think they had them in the 18, whatever it was.
No, maybe not.
One worker who was working on the house in the 70s refused to return after seeing a face in the glass that wasn't mine.
Fair.
Can you imagine looking into a reflection and actually someone looking back at you?
And it's not you.
Was
it supposed to be his reflection? Did he look in at an angle and saw a reflection where there was nobody there? Or was it in place of his face? That's what I'd like to know. Because if it was in place of his reflection, then that's creepy.
I think he was probably just, how you normally, if you see a reflection in a window and you're standing in front of it, you assume it's your face. But then when you look at it and it's not your face, it's somebody else looking at you through the window, then that is creepy. I can understand why he didn't go back.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Unlike some of the more famous hauntings, this one involved no famous murder. It had no newspaper coverage. It circulated only in oral accounts, estate papers, and local reminiscences. So it was overshadowed by the Ripper stories that came later on. So that's why this story isn't known as well either. But it is one of the oldest continuous hauntings associated with a single Spitalfields house. There you go.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Fun though. Is it fun? I think there's part of me that would think it would be really quite interesting to live in a house where stuff like that was going on. And then the other part of me goes, but if it started happening in like the middle of the night or something, it would get really annoying really fast.
Yeah.
And I don't mean like it would get scarier, because I don't think it would be any scarier at any time in the day, if I'm honest. I think, somebody thinking somebody's wandering around in your house when there's no one there is creepy enough, regardless of what time of day it is. But it would get really annoying. I am a person that very much likes my sleep. And,
Yes.
no, I get annoyed when the neighbour's cat comes into the garden and there's like Jonesy goes completely bloody mental and hits the cat flap at 100 miles an hour. And I have to get up and shoo off the other cat out the bloody garden. That annoys
Yeah.
me enough.
Yeah.
Somebody wandering around in the room upstairs, you'd like, would you just go to bed? Yeah. That's not going to go well for me.
Our third story that sort of links in a way. This is called The Rag and Bone Child of Dorset Street.
Sorry, zooming into my map to find Dorset Street. Same area?
I think it's in the maybe slightly different place.
Oh,
but
okay.
it was another sort of lone person. It was a lone child on its own, and I think that's where the link is between the three of them. They seem to be alone, all three
Right.
of them. But this is in the early 18th century, so it's 1900s, and it's by Whitechapel Workhouse. The Whitechapel Workhouse, Dorset Street. Later it says infamous for other reasons.
Blimey. Oh,
And
yes. It is.
Is it anything to do with the Ripper?
I don't know yet.
Because I hadn't looked. Obviously, I was just looking at these cases, and I got notes to say that it was infamous, but I didn't know for what other reasons. I could have. Otherwise, I was going into a rabbit hole of different things, and I wanted to get unusual stories.
So
that maybe weren't.
Dorset Street is a little bit further north to where we've previously been talking about.
Okay.
And it's quite it's like housing, a lot of housing. I found a thing just now, and now my internet's crapped out on me, so it doesn't want to load the page. How rude. Right, fine, go back. It's fine. I will just go into this one. So originally known as Datchet Street.
All right, okay.
In Spitalfields. So it is amongst the area. Once situated at the heart of the area's rookery.
Oh, right.
Okay. It was the worst street in London. And
yes,
that's a quote.
It does. Yeah.
And was the scene of the Jack the Ripper murder of Mary Jane Kelly.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense now. As I say, I didn't go down the rabbit hole because I thought, well, I could go and find out why it's famous. I'm assuming it's the Ripper, but I didn't know. So this is why a lot of these
apparently it's been renamed a few times.
Yeah.
So Dorset
surprised.
Street, it was originally Datchet Street and also got renamed in 1904 to Duval Street.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it's changed a little bit. So it's going to be a bit more complicated to look into, but we can.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Great. Okay. So this was already a place of lodging houses, which is what you found. It's very sort of where people lived. Rag pickers. Now, when they mention this young boy as a rag and bone boy, now I'm slightly older, and I do come from the London area, and I do remember the old rag and bone men coming round picking up your rubbish, and they would come down the street ringing a bell, and they would have a horse and cart, and they would be shouting rag and bone, or something similar. And if you had old kettles, old metal objects, linen, any sort of bedding, that sort of thing that you were chucking out, you would go and take it out to the rag and bone men. They would throw it on the back of the cart, and they'd give you tuppence for it or threepence or whatever they felt that they could then make a profit on your items, but you got rid of them.
Yeah.
I think they should bring it back. I mean,
Well,
how
I
lovely to
think,
come round.
yeah, and to be fair, it was only really a few years ago, and it was because of there was the gypsy camp down the way, and they used to come and do that, and they'd come and it was usually metals that they were after.
Yeah,
But I got rid of a load of what I considered to be junk.
yeah,
And they were like, oh, because I had like an old washing line, one of the
yeah,
big washing lines that fans out at the top. And I had a broken one of those that was just sat in the garden doing nothing. And
yeah,
yeah, he came around. He was like, "Oh, well, what are you doing with that?" And I was like, "It's junk. It doesn't, it doesn't work." And he was like, "Oh, well, I can get rid of it for you." And it was just like, do you know what? If you can make a few quid off it, go ahead.
yeah,
And it got it out of my hair. I was chuffed to bits.
yeah. That's it. So anyway, this was a common thing in the streets of London and probably other cities around the UK. The rag and bone men. So you had what they called the rag pickers, the bone collectors.
Oh,
I haven't looked
not
into
like the
what
movie.
No, I don't. Oh, I don't know.
No, definitely not
no,
like the movie.
no. So I don't know what they collected the bones for. You could have a little look to see what did the bone collectors collect bones for. But it was also well known for abandoned children and oh, I don't know this word. Itinerant workers. Anyway, I'm sorry if I've got it wrong. In the early 18th century, the Whitechapel Workhouse kept a series of night intake logs. Most are mundane, but 3 entries spread over 12 years mention the same thing. They mention a child at the corner of Dorset Street crying. But when someone goes out to find the child, they can't find him. The constable who went to investigate each time reported no child, no footprints, no disturbance, but the sound of crying as if behind a wall. This is the earliest trace of this particular haunting. The rag and bone children were common in Spitalfields. They scavenged cloth scraps, bones, metal, anything that could be sold.
Okay, so I'm also finding that they would collect all of these things. Now it also says that they would take even like dead cats, dogs that could be skinned to make clothes.
Right. Okay.
So I think bones would be things that were sort of big enough to be able to make handles, and things like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
they were also known as bone grubbers and rag gatherers.
Yeah. Okay. But this child, the ghost child, was always described the same way in later accounts. So people had obviously seen him. He was barefoot, which a lot of the children were those days. He was wearing a too large shirt. He was carrying a small sack. His face was obscured by his hair, and he was very absolutely quiet, silent, unless he was approached. And he always was seen alone, even in the busiest hours. The haunting pattern of this child was consistent across 150 years.
That's mad.
I know. The ghost child appeared only to the destitute, the drunk, the newly homeless, the lost, the grieving, and the desperate.
Oh.
Otherwise, he was heard but not seen. He never appeared to those who were comfortable, never to those who were curious, and never to the well-fed.
Oh, see, that's my downfall. I'm way too curious.
Witnesses describe a small figure at the mouth of Dorset Street, standing still, watching, as if waiting. And what you'll love is there was a noise, and it was a soft, rhythmic clinking noise.
Keep
And
clinking.
yeah, and
Sorry, minions.
Yeah. The clinking noise, they said, sounded like bones knocking together in a sack.
Oh my goodness. They're saying a lot of people don't know who the Rag and Bone Man was, or what, it's kind of gone out of need, I guess. But there is record of a Rag and Bone Man in Croydon, May 2011. There's a picture of him with his horse and his cart.
Fabulous.
Yeah. And he's called Peter Trimming. Peter Trimming, he is the modern day Rag and Bone Man. He's got his bell. And I have to say that horse looks in fabulous condition. So, yeah.
Well, they actually looked after their horses a lot of the time because the horse was the thing that allowed them
kept
to
them
do
going.
the job.
Yeah, they couldn't do the job without the horse. Yeah.
No.
Often, in these types of situations, the animals ate better than they did at times.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because without that horse, you can't pull that cart on your own.
No.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to the boy.
Sorry.
That's fine. He would suddenly disappear. So even though he appeared to these people, if these people were then curious enough to follow him or go towards him, the child would turn a corner and you'd get to that corner and turn that corner and he's gone. Poof. Yeah. Even if the corner led to a total dead end. So, and there was always, they said, a lingering coldness. Not a chill, but a hunger of coldness in the air. Wow. That's a description, isn't it?
That's a description and a half, yeah.
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 The most unsettling account was in 1894. A lodging housekeeper named Mrs. Keefe told a local missionary, "He comes for the ones who won't make it through winter. He walks them to the other side."
Oh, bless him. I love that.
She claimed
sad if you actually see him because,
She claimed that three of her lodgers saw the child in the weeks before they died. One died of fever, one of exposure, and one of melancholy, they've got here, and they've got in brackets, possibly unaliving himself.
Oh.
That's what they called melancholy.
Right.
This gave rise to the whispered name of the boy being called the Rag and Bone Reaper.
Bless him.
But the child never harms. He only appears and then somebody dies. In the Guildhall Library, a bone merchant's ledger from 1732 contains a strange marginal note. It says, "A boy brings bones but leaves none." So they've obviously seen a boy with bones in his sack.
Yep.
But then he doesn't leave any. This is the only written description of the child interacting with the living. The merchant wrote that the boy appeared at dusk, placed a sack on the counter, nodded and left. When the merchant opened the sack, it was empty. He never saw the boy again.
But this guy died? Did this guy die after seeing the boy?
No, he actually wrote maybe he was the first one to see him. Maybe it was just as the boy died.
Oh,
I don't know.
this is the thing. Maybe he was sort of visual for a time, and it was somebody else's. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, the three ghosts, these triad, if you like, of ghost people that we've picked from our map today. So we're looking at why this ghost completes the trilogy. So we have the silent seamstress, a ghost of work, stitching, mending, continuing. We have the vanishing lodger, is a ghost of watching, observing, pacing, lingering. And we have the rag and bone child, a ghost of thresholds, appearing at the moment between life and death. Together, they form a perfect Spitalfields triad: the worker, the watcher, and the walker between. Three ghosts tied to poverty, solitude, garrets and alleys, the Huguenot quarter, and the thin places where London forgets itself. Each haunting is quiet, each haunting is persistent, and each haunting is rooted in real archival shadows.
I was just having a look to see, because the way that the map is laid out, where we talk about the area that we were talking about, Spitalfields, the place that the last one took place in seems to be outside of Spitalfields, but it's saying that it's inside. So I'm wondering if the border that they've put around this particular one isn't quite accurate.
Yeah, the trouble is with the areas in London, they were continually
chopped and changed, and I think now Spitalfields might have been sort of shrunk down a little bit to include other areas around, because the stuff that I've got for locations is outside of that area, like a fair ways outside of that area. So it may have been Spitalfields at the time, and it's not considered Spitalfields anymore. But borders have changed like continuously, so I'm not at all surprised.
Yeah, it also goes on to say that these ghosts were like gentle ghosts. None of them are angry. None of them attack anybody or really frightened. I know the bloke got frightened by the different face in the window, but they're not really like spooky ghosts that would scare the living bejesus out of you.
Fair.
Yeah. So we've got just a few questions here. And I love this because I sort of feel that this goes on a lot about certain spirits or strange things happening where people, although they've died, they continue to work. And I think we spoke about, and it was a while ago when we were talking about a hospital ghost that appeared around the time when people would die, and she would be seen wandering around corridors, just doing the duties of a nurse, but she was long gone. But all the nurses knew of her. They're sort of saying, and I know there's another one. There's on the London Underground, when we talked about the London Underground ghosts, there's one that's been seen on a CCTV camera.
Yeah,
that was actually seen waiting in the early hours for a train, and he was actually caught, this strange sort of shadowy person in white clothes, as if he's got like overalls on, waiting on a platform for a train. And it's almost as if he's just continuing to go to work. And they sent one of their staff over to find out why this bloke was on the platform at such a ridiculous time in the morning. And when he got there, there's nobody there. But but it was actually seen on CCTV camera. So yeah. But so I think people are sometimes entrenched, and their work is valuable to them.
Yeah.
I know when my granddad, and I have sort of told this story before. I don't know if I told the whole story properly in full, and it needs to be told. And it was a near-death experience that my granddad had when he went into a coma.
You did? Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
We talked about this one. I think it was in one of the time slips episodes that we did. But yes, you did tell the story. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm just saying about him going up in his lift, because he felt he was in a lift and the doors open, but he wasn't allowed out.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing was, what he was more interested in than anything was he saw all his mates that he used to work with. And when he came back around from this coma, and he was on his deathbed at the time. I mean, he never got up again. But he came back and said he couldn't go until a Tuesday or something. And all he kept saying was, "There's work for me up there. There's work for me to do. I've got work to do." And it was that feeling of being useful again.
Yeah.
Because he hated the fact that he couldn't get up out of bed anymore and do what he did usually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think
and I can understand that.
And I can see why, if you do come back and are seen by other people, you just carry on doing your work because you love it so much. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
And it says here, is it habit, duty, comfort? Does the seamstress mend because she loves the work or because she never escaped it? I don't think she needed to escape it by the sound of it.
No, this is the thing. I think if you generally hate it, if you're doing it because you have no choice and you choose not to if you had that choice, then I don't think that you'd continue to be doing it. Do you know what I mean?
No. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
If you had any control over it whatsoever, I don't think that's what you'd be doing.
No.
But how the hell do I know? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know.
I got another thing here. It says, what makes a place hold on to its dead? I think...
Or is it the person that holds on to the place? I mean...
It very well could be. It could be... It's a bit like the people continuing to work. I mean, if you've always walked the streets and you die, do you just continue to walk the streets? Not even sometimes knowing that...
I kind of have a thing with that, though, because if somebody who you travel the same way every day, right? For instance, you get on a tube or, a train or on a bus and you travel the same route to work every day, right? And every day you see some person, right? There's one person that's always there. You've never spoken to them, don't really, but you notice them each day. They are always on the same bus or the same train as you, right? If one day they died, but you didn't know they died, there's that expectation that you're going to see them when you get on that train or that bus. So is it then like the expectation of the people that knew of this person all the time, and then it just kind of bleeds over? I don't know, because then later you're going to be running into people that have never knew this person when they were alive, but have seen them passing. And does that energy just fade gradually so that some people see them and some people don't? I don't know. It's a weird thing. There is something weird about that.
Yeah.
That I almost don't want to look into too deeply in case I find out. Do you know?
Yeah. I mean, some
weird.
of it you could put down to what they call this stone tape theory, where the fabric of the buildings and the bricks and the pavements sort of soak
like
up,
absorb energy
almost,
or
Well, they say it's something to do with cellulose or something, which is in like recording tape.
Oh, I
Uh,
see.
and it's in the property of the stone and the brick of the buildings. And does that record, especially something if it's an emotional thing, does that record something that then plays over and over at certain times? I don't know. It's such an interesting concept. Or are you slipping into a time slip, and do you see something from a different time when you see someone or something happens? I don't know. I don't know. Do you slip into their time rather than them being in your time? It's a bit
Yeah.
like it's a bit like the Others film,
The
isn't it?
others, yeah,
Yeah.
where you don't know who the ghosts are.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bizarre. And yet very
Bizarre.
cleverly done. Very nicely done.
Yeah.
Um,
But and it says here, why are the garrets so haunted? I think because of the emotion and the just the combined emotion of so many
mm,
people who would have been in that area at that time for so long,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
And the
And
amount, the level of discomfort, suffering,
exactly
struggle,
that. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that leads to a lot of emotional energy built up in one particular area. And I don't know if
Absolutely.
that does anything, but I think it must do something, you
Yeah.
know? I don't think you
Yeah.
can have that kind of thing happen for an extended period of time like that
Yeah.
and not have some kind of um response. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. And as we all know, folks, I don't know is a valid answer. Just saying.
Oh dear. Okay, so a few questions for our listeners. You can help with the questions we've asked each other, of course, as well.
Oh
Um,
yeah, get involved, guys.
was did any of those three ghosts unsettle you? Which one unsettled you the most? And why? If they did, they may not have done. They all three may have. You just might have just felt sorry for all of them.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I
I,
I think for me, um, I think the bloke who talked about seeing the wrong reflection in a window
yeah,
of
yeah,
somebody else's face, that would weird me out.
yes, yes,
That was a little bit unsettling. But other than that, um, I didn't find any of them to be particularly because they weren't, you
no,
know, they weren't trying to frighten people or do you know what I mean? Um, so yeah, I think just sad really. But
yeah,
that's just me. But yeah, the reflection of the face thing, that would yeah.
yeah,
No thank you. No thank you.
creep you out a little bit.
A little
Have
bit.
you ever felt a presence that wasn't threatening but just there? So, do you have your own story of anything that was just there?
Okay, listeners,
Uh,
here's your cue because I have nothing. Just saying.
do you have to put the word nothing if you've got to this point?
Yes. If you've reached this point, um
Or just
it-
or just
put your
put some brackets with nothing in the middle.
yeah, just dot dot dot. Yeah. Oh dear. Do you know at some point somebody's going to do this? Somebody actually did this on our TikTok channel.
They
Did
did.
you see?
And
Somebody was like, I don't know why.
yeah,
Candle? Question mark?
yeah,
Question mark? I was
yeah,
like, yay! Somebody did it. It was really that was
yeah,
really funny.
yeah. That was
So
from one
she
of our
has
little
no idea
clips.
why she's done it, but she did it.
But she did it. Oh dear. I don't think any of the ghosts would be ghosts I would fear. Although I might be a bit unnerved if I saw the boy, because if I saw the boy, then I'm either
If you knew what it
homeless,
meant. Yeah.
hungry, cold, just about to
Desperate.
die. Yeah. So that would so yeah. But if you live around the Spitalfields area, have you ever heard of any of these ghosts? Do you know anything about any three of them? Or do you know stories that we haven't told yet about people in your area that have seen or heard of anything that may be a story that we could tell on the podcast. That would be great.
Yeah, it would. That would be very cool.
I want you to all know that the ghosts that we talked about today were quiet ghosts. They weren't predatory ghosts. They're not likely to follow anybody, I don't think. There's a lot of humanity around every single story. And whatever walks the alleyways of Spitalfields, you're not walking alone because you're here in the shack with us. So I think we just have come to the end of our session. I would like to say, if you are on YouTube and you are watching, please subscribe to our channel. We are slowly growing, but oh my goodness, it's hard.
It's a slow
work.
burn. It's a slow burn.
It's a very slow burn. And one session that we did, one episode we did a couple of weeks ago, got loads and loads and loads and loads of views, and we were chuffed to bits. And then the next one, just not many. It's like, we need you to come back. We want you in the shack. We love you in the shack. So please subscribe, please like it, please comment, put the silly things in the comments. Tell us about your stories. You can contact us. I'll tell you again, shackpackinbox@gmail.com. And it'll be on the last bit of the, at the end as we leave. But other than that, that's our little stories all finished for this evening.
Although it's not sharing them with you.
It's not evening here.
It's not evening here.
No.
We've gone up I can't remember what I said the temperature was when we first started.
It was about 22, 23,
20,
I think.
22, 23, something like that. It's now 25.
Okay. So we've done it before it gets too hot. We're ready to go down into the cool area.
Yeah, very much. Oh dear. Well, with all that being said, dear listeners, be sure to keep your minds open and your lamps lit. And we will see you again next time at the Freaking Shack.
Goodbye, Shack Packers. See you next week.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for hanging out in the shack with us. If you've got a strange story, theory, or even just a spooky question, send it to shackpackinbox@gmail.com because we'd love to hear from you. Follow us to ensure that you never miss an episode of The Freaking Shack, because listening to us is much cheaper than therapy and slightly more spooky. Until we meet again next week, Shackpackers, take care.